Hello and how's it going, everyone? It is Skullzi here with the latest Bethesda news, and I have a few very interesting things to talk about today. We have some stuff that has to do with a potential marketing campaign for Starfield confirmed to actually be happening very soon, and at the same time there is even more low-key evidence regarding a potential 2021 Starfield release date, and on top of this, some confirmed information about the general just audio and vibe style that we should expect from Starfield as well. And I do want to kind of expand on a discovery I made yesterday that I think could actually highlight the chances of a potential Starfield MMO companion game. But let's not waste any more time and get to today's information. Now, I want to begin today's video expanding on that discovery I made yesterday, a discovery that already a lot of people are running wild with and claiming are their own, or are just sharing this information but not crediting me in any way whatsoever. And before you say, like, why do people need to give credit anyway? Well, the thing is, especially for smaller creators, by not crediting smaller channels or just people in general for these discoveries, the actual person that brought this information to the community loses out on a lot of attention they can get. And attention doesn't really matter, that's maybe the wrong word. The better word is they can gain some people actually following their accounts, because if someone is known for finding information, that's how they get a reputation and become an insider or whatever, or at least just become someone known for finding interesting things to talk about. And I found a lot of stuff, 90% of which has been taken by their people or just shared, and then the Reddit post was like the source linked by all the journalists and stuff talking about that thing. But that's not the thing I want to talk about in today's video. I just wanted to mention real quick that if you see this information out there, you know where you saw it first, and hopefully my channel can actually get some recognition for all the things I try to dig up for everyone. But the main thing I want to talk about regarding my discovery yesterday is because it does confirm that there will be vehicles to some variety in the next ZeniMax Online Studios MMORPG game that is in development right now and hasn't really officially been announced yet. It's confirmed it's in development, but we know nothing about it. However, this information I discovered yesterday is the first confirmed information about this game, and it is that basically the player will have a vehicle that it can control and take to different environments, and at the same time, NPCs will have vehicles as well. And yesterday I speculated what kind of setting that could be. Maybe it's a modern day setting or like a Shadowrun kind of setting, but to be honest, I think I have a much better idea as to what this game could be. And yes, this is speculation, but bear in mind it's educated speculation based upon the most likely scenario given the circumstances. And let's look at ZeniMax Online Studios and the games they've made before, or I should say the game they made before, because the only other game they made as a studio as ZeniMax Online Studios is the Elder Scrolls Online, which is the only MMORPG companion game to the single-player Elder Scrolls franchise, meaning that it takes place in the same universe. However, it is primarily an online-only game, an MMORPG that continues to get updates as MMORPGs get. And with that in mind, it seems like ZeniMax Online Studios, judging by the pattern they have developed by their only other game made so far, so even though this pattern doesn't have a lot of concrete stability behind it because it's only based on their only one game so far, judging by ZeniMax Online Studios' previous pattern and focuses, you would almost guess that their next game might be a companion game for a Bethesda Game Studios franchise. And what franchises does Bethesda Game Studios have? Well, they have the Elder Scrolls, and ZOS is already making ESO. They have Fallout, and Bethesda Game Studios Austin is making Fallout 76, which is kind of the MMO, sort of, and that only leaves Starfield. And when you consider this job posting here talking about vehicles and NPCs having vehicles as well, what kind of world would exist to where the majority of the NPCs have vehicles, or at least there is a focus on NPCs with vehicles? It could be modern day, or the more likely scenario based upon the only other game being developed by Bethesda Game Studios that we know of right now would be Starfield, meaning this very well could be a job posting for a Starfield MMORPG set in the same universe as the single player game but as a standalone game. And to be honest, that would be freaking hype, because if Starfield is a great and interesting universe with a ton of lore, I'm definitely want to stick my head way up into it as much as possible. That's a weird reference to metaphor thing. And it would be the best situation to have it, because Bethesda Game Studios aren't taking away any of the development from Starfield's single-player game to make this MMO, because ZeniMax Online Studios is making it. And ZeniMax Online Studios does get some oversight from Bethesda, so that way the world and the lore lore and everything can be at least as legit and lore-friendly as possible. A lot of people don't realize this, but The Elder Scrolls Online is indeed lore-friendly due to Dragon Break phenomenon and a bunch of other stuff, which is a topic I can get to in another video. But I believe that this job posting kind of low-key gives a bit more of credibility to the fact that a Starfield MMORPG could be in development right now by some X-Online studios, and I don't know if it would get released alongside Starfield or maybe a year after to allow the community to get to know the game, to get to love the game, and to get to be more familiar with the content, and then desire more, which would be the best time to drop this Starfield MMORPG. But bear in mind, this is all speculation based upon this confirmed job posting, which does contain the first confirmed information about this new game, which is that it'll have vehicles and have to take place in a setting that has vehicles. But now let's move on to the last thing I want to talk about in today's video, which is actually two things mixed into one discovery by Timur. Yes! Timur always discovers things alongside Jenkins and Oda and then occasionally myself, and I try to give credit as much as possible to the people that actually discover this stuff, unlike some people like Reddit and 4chan and other just random forums that for some reason all these websites go to as being the source for these things, which is stupid. Activate Kuroshi Optics, pretend like cool thing happened, and blah, blah, blah. But this is the discovery right here. Now bear in mind, these are two LinkedIn profiles, and this LinkedIn profile is from Chris Height, who works at Bethesda. And as you can see, judging by his LinkedIn profile, he worked previously for id Studios on Doom 2016, which is hype because the sound in Doom is amazing, and yes, the music is amazing, but I don't think the sound design and just general sound effects and aesthetic gets enough praise because it's very good. The UI elements, everything, all the little subtle sounds and stuff you hear in the game, the gunshots, the monster, literally everything in this game sounds really good and has that little bit of vibe and nostalgia of the old school Doom and even Quake games as well, which is great. A lot of attention and love was paid to the sound design of Doom 2016 and beyond, and now the same person who worked as an audio director making all that stuff for Doom 2016 actually is working at Bethesda Game Studios in Washington, D.C., meaning the Rockville, Maryland area, meaning the Bethesda area where Bethesda Game Studios' main studio location is located, who works on Starfield and The Elder Scrolls 6, and he's working on Starfield and some fun other, I guess, unannounced projects from Bethesda Game Studios, which one I believe is Spy Team, but the focus here is on Starfield. And even though this discovery isn't anything like huge and like which doesn't shake you in the middle of the night and punches you and then gets you hyped for something, this is still interesting because it's great to know that someone who worked on Doom 2016's sound design actually as the audio director is now a senior sound designer for Starfield. So maybe we'll get some low-key similar like elements from Doom 2016 and the Doom sound effects to Starfield, because after all, Doom is set in a futuristic sci-fi universe. Starfield will be as well, although I doubt there's probably going to be as many demons in Starfield, but you never know. But either way, it's great to know that the sound design for Starfield is in very, very good hands. Now, let's move on to the last discovery, which is also from Timur. Huge shout out to Timur again for doing all these crazy things, which is from a LinkedIn profile from Steve Merritt, who is the UK marketing director for Bethesda and has overseen the marketing campaigns for Doom Eternal, ESO, Deathloop, Starfield, Fallout 76, and more. And you can see he works for Bethesda Softworks in the UK, and all these LinkedIn profiles were literally updated within the last few days, and that means that all of this stuff is now being shifted to being available publicly. And Starfield was not on this list before, but now it is, and if Starfield is on a list of a marketing director located in UK, in my opinion that signifies a global effort for the marketing campaign for Starfield to start going into the early stages, meaning we should expect to hear more about Starfield here very, 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 very soon, and maybe we'll get a tease at some point soon leading up to the big E3 showcase. And this also basically confirms that Starfield, or at least Bethesda, should have some kind of presence at E3, because why else would Starfield get added to this list all of a sudden? If Starfield was not to have a presence at any event at E3 or the Summer Games Fest this year, I don't know why now it would be updated on this LinkedIn profile. That doesn't make the sense to me. So even though this should still be considered that speculation, the fact that Starfield was added to the experience and the marketing campaigns for someone located at Bethesda in UK signifies a global marketing campaign starting up low-key behind behind the scenes for Starfield, and that gets me super hyped. And if we want to hit that speculation salt just a little bit harder, you can even say that this signifies the potential of a Starfield 2021 release date as well, because if he updated his marketing campaigns on this LinkedIn profile all of a sudden this year, a couple months before E3 and the Summer Games Fest, that signifies that yes, Starfield should be featured this year. And based upon the general Bethesda Game Studios patterns, if they show a game that summer, they release it later on that year. But like I said, that's just a little bit more on that heavy speculation salt stuff, but in my opinion it still holds up and is more definite evidence of a Starfield 2021 release date. And that gets me super hyped and basically finishes everything I wanted to talk about in today's video. As always, if you're hyped for Starfield, be sure to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to stay in the know about all this kind of content. And as always, huge thank you and much appreciation to these people who went above and beyond to support the channel. If you want to get a permanent future video shout out on every single one of my videos from this point forward, you can support the channel over on Ko-fi, Patreon, or here on YouTube as an exclusive channel member. Links for all this and more are down in the description below, and as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to tune in next time when Starfield is just a Doom DLC.
It just works.